Được chưa? Quay ha. Hello everyone. Today I will presentation module 20 network security data from cyber security essential trivial bicycle. The goal of this module is to help us understand different types of security data and how to use logs and records to store information about hosts and the network. We are group 11 and we have three members. First is me, Trần Nguyễn Dũng, and second is Nguyễn Hồ Đình Tuấn Kiệt, and finally is Nguyễn Thịnh. In this module, we will cover the three main topics. Type of security data, learn about different types of data used in network security monitoring. Second is and device logs, understand the elements and purpose of log file on an device. Finally, in network logs, explore various network services and tools used to gather network data. First is we will come to type of security data. First is alert data. Alert data consists of messages generated by IPS or IDSS in response to traffic that violates a rule or matches that signature of a no exploit. A network IDS and IDS such as not comes confused with rules for no exploit. Alerts are generated by Snort and are made readable and searchable by the Squid and Squad application, which are part of the security onion suite of and SM tools. A testing site used to determine if Snort is operating in the Test My ID doc site is consist of a single web page that display only UID equal 0 root, GID equal 0 root, roots equal 0 root. If not is operating correctly and a host visits this site, a signature will be matched and an alert will be triggered. This is an easy and harmless way to verify that an IDS is running. Does not root triggers E alert IP any NC GPL attack underscore respond ID chat return root contain UID equal 028 root 29 fast underscore pattern only class type bet unknown 6 210049A rep A is generates an alert if any IP arrest in the network receives data from an external source that contains content with text machine the pattern of UID equal 0 root. The highlighted line display a GUI alert generated by visiting the ID's doc website. We will come to session and transaction data. The first part is session data. Is a record of conversation between two network endpoints, often a client or a server. The server could be inside the enterprise network or at a location accessed over the internet. Session data is data about the session, not the data retrieved and used by the client. It will include identifying information such as the file types of source and destination IP addresses, source and destination port numbers, and the IP code for the protocol in use. Data about the session typically includes a session ID, the amount of data transferred by source and destination, and information related to the duration of the session. The figure on the following slide shows a partial output for the pre-HTTP sessions from a ZIG, a network security monitoring tool connection log. First, we will have the 13 13 things to talk about. First is TS session start timestamp, UID, unique session ID, ID dot orig underscore h, IP address a port that originated the session, source address, ID dot orig underscore p, protocol port for the originating host, source port, ID dot rest underscore h, IP address a port responding to the originating host destination address, ID dot rest underscore p, protocol of responding host destination port, protocol transport layer protocol for session. So service application layer protocol duration of the session, orig underscore bytes. Bytes is from originating host. Reps underscore bytes from the responding host. Orig underscore packets from the originating host. Reps underscore packet from response host. Transaction data. We will come to transaction data. It consists of the messages exchanged during network session and can be viewed in packet capture transcripts. Device logs kept by servers also contain information about the transaction that occur between clients and servers. A session might include the downloading of content from a web server as shown in the figure. The transaction that represent the request and replies would be logged in and a set log on the server by any DS like jig. The session is on traffic involved in making up the request. The transaction is the request itself. We'll come to the full packet captures. Full packet captures are the most detailed network data that is generally collected and the most storage and retrieval intensive type of data used in NFE and SM. The content data about the network conversations, session data, the actual contents of the conversation, the text of email messages, the HTML in the web page, and the file that enter or leave the network. Extracted content can be recovered from the full packet captures and analyzed for malware or user behavior that violates business and security policies. The figure illustrates the interface for the network analysis monitor component of Cisco Prime infrastructure system, which like Wireshark can display full packet capture. Statistical data is about network traffic aggregated through the analysis of all the forms of network data. Statistically, characteristic of normal network behavior can be compared to current network traffic to detect anomalies. Statistics can be used to characterize normal amounts of variation in network traffic patterns to identify network conditions that are significantly outside of those ranges. Statistically significant differences should raise alarms and prompt investigation. Network behavior analysis (NBA) and network behavior anomaly detection (NBID) are approaches to network security monitoring that use advanced analytical techniques to analyze net flow or internet protocol flow information export. Network telemetry data. Statistically data. Cisco cognitive threat analytics is an example of an SM tool that utilize statistically analysis as shown in the figure. It finds malicious activity that bypasses security control or enter the network through unmonitoring channel, including removal media and is operating inside an organization's environment. It is cloud-based product that use machine learning and statistical modeling of networks extracting a baseline of traffic in a network and identifying anomalies. It analyzes user and device behavior and get traffic to cover command and control communication, data exploitation, and potential unwanted application operating in the infrastructure. And we will move on to the end device log, and this is a part of holding toolkit.
Ok, nói Tuấn á. Hello everyone, my name is Kiệt, and today I will talk about end device and network logs. Now let's move on with end device. On a host, we often use host-based instructions detection system or HIDS. We can detect and sometimes prevent attacks. This system creates logs on the host and can also send them to central server for easier monitoring using SM2. For Windows hosts, we can view logs in the event viewer, which include five main types. And the first is applications. They contain event logs by various applications, and the next is system. They include events regarding the operations of drivers, processors, and hardware. And the setup, they record information about installations of software, including Windows updates. And security log, they can record events related to security, such as lock-on attempt and operations related to file or object management and access. And the last is command line. It's a attacker who have gained access to a system and some types of malware execute command from the CLI rather than the GUI. And previous logs can have different event type, and security logs consist only of audit success of failure messages. And the host log, it have a file type, such as errors, warning, information, and success audits. And the last is fail logs, and each log can be an error warning, and it can showing how the system believe or what's the problem occur. And moving the next log, one of common standard is syslog. Syslogs define a message format and allow device to send log message to central server over UDP or TCP. And syslog includes specifications for message, a client server application structure, and network protocol. And different type of network device can be configured to use syslog standard to log event to centralized syslog server. And the syslog message has three parts. The first is prioritize header and message, and severity range from 0, which is emergency, to 7, which is debug level information. And the server also keep information logs like web, email, and DNS. and the, and this DNS log especially helpfully for identifying malicious domain or malware communications. And to manage these logs, organize your same. It is called security information and event management, and the same collect and normalize and correctly log data displacing in dashboard for monitoring and compliance. And server log are an essential source for data for network security monitoring. and DNS proxy server with document on the DNS queries and response. Insights are useful for identifying hosts that might visiting dangerous websites and for identifying data and connecting to malware common. And other may use proprietary logging. The contents of log file event depend on the type of server and the secure information and event management technology in used in many organizations to provide real-time reporting and long-term analysis of security events. It combines essential functions of security and security information to provide a comprehensive view of enterprise network using functions such as like log normalization, correlating, aggregate, reporting, and the last is compliance. And a popular theme is Splunk, made by CISO partner and its equally user is SOC and Solar touch theme and go beyond into automating security response workflow and facilitating incident response because of importance of network security. Numerous companies have brought excellent products to security tool market. However, these tools lack competitive and require monitoring multiple independent product dashboard to process the many alerts and because the lack of cyber security professional to monitor and analyze the lack of volume of security data. It's important that tools from multiple vendors and can integrate it into a single platform. And the next we will move on to the next network logs. Mm, and in the last broadcast domain, analyze traffic is crucial, and a common tool for this is TCP/DUM and a common line packet analyzer that capture real-time network traffic. And if you refer a graphic show interface, while such provide the same function with user-friendly view. And another tool is the NetFlow developed by CISO. Unlike Dispidum, NetFlow doesn't capture full packet data. It records metadata like source and destination, IP, port, and protocol, and it provides valuable information about network user and application. It uses time and traffic routing. It does not full packet capture and capture actually content in the packet. And the net flow information can view with tools like an FDUM that provide a command line utility for viewing net flow data from an app capture, daemon, and collector. And traditionally, an IP flow is based on a set of 5 to 7 IP packets attribute flowing a single direction. And this approach saves resource by giving clear visual visibility into network behavior. And the IP packet attribute user by net flow are IP source address, IP destination port, and layer 3 protocol type and class of service. And the last is the router or switch interface. And now about application visible and control, another system technology. and and this is a system combine multiple technology to recognize, analyze, and control over 1,000 applications, include voice, email, and file sharing, gaming, peer-to-peer, and cloud-based applications, and IVC geosocial next-generation networks-based application recognition and version 2 to discover and classify the application in use on the network, identification of network application by port profile, very little granularity and visible into user, management and reporting system such as to show from and analyze and present the application and the data into dashboard report for use by network monitoring personnel. And application users can also control through quality of service, classification, and policy based on the IVC information. And my topic is the last, and the next is the presentation of the Thịnh. He would talk about content filter loss.
On this slide, we continue discussing SQL application, content filter log, a device that provide content filtering such as the SQL ESA and the SQL WSA provide a wide range of functionality for security monitoring. Logging is available from many of the functionalities. ESA has more than 30 logs that can be used to monitor most aspects of email delivery system, function, functioning antivirus, anti-spam operation, and blacklist, and allow lead decision. Most of the logs are stored in text file and can be collected on log server or can be pushed to FTP or SCP server. Alert regarding the functioning of the application itself and its subsystem can be monitored by email to administrators who are responsible for monitoring and operating the device. WSA device offer a similar depth of functioning. WSA effectively acts as a web proxy, meaning that it logs on inbound and outbound transaction information for HTTP traffic. WSA can be configured to submit the log to a server in various ways, including log, FTP, and SCP. Other logs available to the WSA, ACL decision log, malware scan log, and web reputation filtering log, um, content filter log. The figure illustrated the drill down that are available from SQL content filtering the device by clicking component of the overview response. More relevant details are displayed. Target suggest provides the most focused information. Um, the figure illustrates as a log message generated by a Cisco ASA device and a log message generated by a Cisco iOS device. Uh, Cisco security device can be uh, configured to submit event and alerts to security um, management platforms using SNMP or CLOC. There are two means used for the term facility in Cisco CLOC message. The first is a standard set of facility values that were established by the CLOC standards. Uh, these values are used in the PRI message part of the CLOC packet to calculate the message priority. The other facility value is assigned by Cisco and occurs in the MS3 part of the Ceylon message. Cisco device may use slightly different Ceylon message format and maybe use um, manual memories instead of message IDS. Proxy servers are devices that act as intermediaries for network clients that contain value logs that are a primary source of data for network security monitoring. An enterprise may configure web proxies to handle web requests on the behalf of clients. Uh, Instead of request for web should be sent directly to the server from the client. The request is sent to proxy server first. Um, the proxy server requests result and return them to the client and generate log on um, the on request and responses. The log are analyzed to determine which hosts are making the request, whether the destination says or potentially malicious, and to also gain insight to the kind of issues that have been downloaded. We web proxies provide data that have determined whether responses from the web were generated in response to legitimate request or have been manipulated to appear to be responsive to but are in fact exploit. It is possible to use web proxies to inspect outgoing traffic as means of DLP with interval scanning outgoing traffic to detect whether the data that is leaving the web contains sensitive confidential or secret information. Crystal Umbrella offer a host DNS service that extends the capability of DNS to include security enhancement. Um, Here you can see in the slide, and the table explains the meaning of the field of the DNS proxy, log, and try. Now we move the next slide, and next-gen firewall describes that extend network security beyond IP address and layer 4 port number to the application layer and beyond. One of those functionality is reporting dashboard with interactive features that allow quick point and click response on very specific information without the need for SIEM or other event correlator. SQLite and CFW device you firepower service to consolidate multiple security layer into a single platform containing code simplifying management. Firepower service include application visibility and control, firepower and CIPS, their utilization, and category-based URL filtering and AMP. Firepower device allow monitoring network security through a web-enabled GUI con event viewer command and GFW event include connection event, intrusion event, hot and point event, network discovery event, and net flow event, and net generation firewall cons service provided by NGFW. Here you can see on the side intrusion prevention, firepower analysis and automation, advanced malware protection and sandboxing, URL filtering. Now we next slide. Network security data summary. What did I learn in this module? Alert data consists of messages generated by IP address or ID address in responses to traffic that violated a rule or match the signature of a kernel exploit. Session data is a record of communication between two network endpoints, often a client and server. Data about the session typically include a session ID, the amount of data transferred by suit, and destination and information related to the duration of the session. Full packet capture are the most detailed network data centrally collected and requires the greatest storage. Um, Statistical data is created through the analysis of various forms of network data. Um, HIDS run on individual hosts and not only detect intrusion but can also prevent intrusion as well as create, log and store them on the host. Log include special cases for massive formats, client server applications, uh, structure and network protocol. What did I learn in these modules? Um, Server logs are an essential source of data for network security monitoring. Network applications, server chat, email, and web server keep asset and error log. DNS process several log document and the DNS uh, query and responses that occur on the network. Um, at IM at IEM combines the essential function of SEM and SIM to provide a comprehensive view of the enterprise network using localization, normalization, correlation, regression, reporting, and completion. The NetFlow provide valuable information about network use and application, pitch, use time, and traffic routing, visual application visibility, and control use SQL and BAR2 to discover and classify the application in use on the network. Device chat the result ESA and the SQL WSA provide a wide range of functionalities for security monitoring by using content filtering. Proxy servers are devices that act as intermediaries for network clients, generating log up on requests and responses that can be analyzed to determine which hosts are making the request, whether the destination say or potentially potentially um, and to also gain insight to the kind of resources that have been downloaded. Um, Next-gen firewall advanced device that extend network security based on IP address and layer 4 port numbers to the application layer B and beyond. Thanks for listening.